So the next section that I want to explain is images. So in the HTML, you can insert an image using the img with the triangle bracket. So you can see like this one, img, and then you need to specify where is the source. The source means the src. So src means how you put your image file in your computer. So it is about the location. There are two kinds of ways to detect the location. It can be the relative location or the absolute location. If it is the relative location, so you can have like this one. For example, you want to put into the folder img, and then inside the folder img you have a file logo.png, for example. Or if it is an absolute, you need to find the correct path. For example, you can specify c dash dash documents dash dash maybe ISD 2025 dash and so on. Okay, so the absolute way is a little bit complex. We will learn later when we have the image, and if we use the PyCharm, yeah, how can we specify the folder? So that's also different. So let's now use the very easy one using the relative location. And then because I don't have any image, so let's see. I will download any image. What image? Web image. Let's say I want to download this one. Okay. Can I download this image dari okay. So let me download this file and then let me save into the folder. Let's say I want to create a new folder, img. Okay. So in the folder img, I want to make this file as logo.png. Okay, let's see. This is the wait, where I put that one? This one, img. Okay, let me move this one to the example. So my folder is in the example, okay, and all the HTML file is in this location. Okay. Now, let me make a new file. Which one I want to use? Okay, let me just use the parent.html. And then let me just copy and paste the code. This one. Okay, let me copy this to the parent.html. Let me put here. Okay, so let me put in between the href and the br, and let's check the result. Parent.html. Okay, so you can see now the image does not appear. So did something wrong. maybe this one. I need to delete this one. Maybe let's see. If I delete the slash, okay, now you can see the image. So the slash, the slash may affect the folder name. Okay, so you can remove the slash at this moment. Now it means that in order to check the logo.png, you can go to the folder img where you put the logo.png. So in my case, I have the image. It is inside the folder img. This is the parent.html. So I need to access the img folder. This is the img folder where the logo.png is located. So I need to go to here so I can see the logo.png. Okay. Then you can see this image in the parent.html. You can make some kind of properties, for example, ALT. ALT means substitute text for display. So for example, you cannot find your logo. You cannot find the logo because maybe the location is confusing or the folder name is not correct, or maybe it is not in the server, it is in the client, and etc. So if there is an error, you can show the alternative, or we call it, this is alt. It is a substitute text for display. Now let's see this one. We have ALT logo. Okay. Now, for example, I used this one before because using the slash, I cannot see the logo. Now, I would like to make the ALT or the alternative, and I want to mention this is a logo. So let's just make it simple like this. This is a logo. Now, if I run this into the parent, I can refresh this one. Now you can see here, you can see the word logo. What is it? This is the substitute text because you cannot see the figure, you cannot see the image. Now the HTML file replace it with text. This should be a logo, but you cannot find the logo. That's the meaning by ALT. So if you can find the logo, what happened? Nothing. So if you can show the logo, then there will be no text. If you cannot find the image, then logo will appear. For example, let's say I will type to this one. Logo will appear. Okay. Let me change the ILT like this one. Logo will appear. So if I use the correct folder, there is nothing here. But if I use wrong folder, let's say like this one, then you can see the ALT will be shown here. Logo will appear. So it is to share that this is error, or the HTML cannot find your logo. The other information is about the height, width, and border. Yeah, this is just to make the image whether you want to specify the height, you want to specify the width, or you want to put the border in the image or not. I think we can see this one later in the other section. So there are other kind of texts that you can use also in this HTML. For example, HR. So HR means horizontal rule. So you can make the rule, let's say using the HR, and I want to make the size equals to 5 and the width is 70%. So it will be, let's see. If this one applies to the parent, so there will be a new line. Okay, so there will be a new line. So this is a line, horizontal line, and the width is 5. The size is 5 and the width is 70%. So it is not full screen. If it is 100%, then it is full screen. You can see if it is 100%, then it is a full screen line. Okay, so it depends how you can define. And then the other thing is center. So center means you want to put the word in the center or not. Font. It is to indicate the font, whether you want to change the color of the font, you want to change the size of the font, and so on. But okay, I can say this one, it is deprecated. Deprecated. What does it mean? So HTML didn't use this command anymore, but we will use it later for another front-end code. Okay. So I just want to say that you can still use this one, but not in the HTML. We need to use it in different code later. Also the font, we will use it later for the other purpose of the front end. So let's see this one. misc.html. Let me create a new file. Okay, now you can use any way to save your file. And you can still see the font is still available, but later on we will make it more fancy with some CSS, with more informative library. So we don't need to specify the font like in this example. So in this example, we have the font size is 3 for font number 3, and the color is blue. Okay, the color is blue. And then for the next, we have the size +4. So it means if the original is 3, then it will be 4 +4 from the original size. Then this is the color is blue, and this is font +4. The center means we want to put the word in the center of the web page. The other things that we can learn is about lists. So list in the HTML, it is a kind of list in the word processor. So we want to make some order or unordered list. For example, this is an order list. We call it OL. OL means order list. And this is with the triangle bracket, the starting tag, the ending tag. So OL, and we can specify the type. For example, the type is 1, then it will start from 1, 2, 3. If the type is using A with big letter, then it will be A, B, C with big letter. If you use the type is A with small letter, then it will be A, B, C with small letter, and so on. Okay. So the type can be one, can be A with big letter, A with small letter, I with big letter, and I with small letter. And for every list, you need to specify with LI. So in this case, I have apple, orange, grapefruit, and then there are 3 items. So we have LI for the apple, we have LI for the orange, and we have LI for the grapefruit. And then we can put in between the OL. The other list is unordered list. Unordered list means, yeah, I can just specify the list, but I don't need to make it an order. What is the meaning by order? We have the sequence. Number 1, number 2, number 3, or maybe this is the first, A, and then this is the second, this is the third, and so on. So this is order. Sunso. I have which one is the first, which one is second, which one is the third, and so on. But unordered means I do not need the order. I don't care which one is the first. I don't care which one is the second. Okay. So as long as it belongs to the list, you can specify it with UL. Okay. So OL is the order list, but UL is unordered list. And the type, there are 3 types. The type, it can be this, it can be circle, and it can be square. So we have this like this one, we can have circle like this one, and we can have square like this one. So LI should be specified again in every of the data. For example, I want to specify apple, orange, grapefruit. So I need to put also LI for each of the item. And then those items should be in between the UL. The other kind of list is DL. DL is definition list. So in the DL, it is a pair of text and associated definition. The text is in the DT when we have DL. So we will have the text which is DT, and we can have the definition which is DD. Okay, DT and DD. And it will renders without bullet, and definition is indented. So if you learn Python, you can see there's an indentation. So the idea is just to show the indentation, but actually it does not affect the result. Okay, let's see. I will do this one, and then I will make as a list.html. Okay. So you can see the first part is OL. OL is ordered list. And the type is 1. So we start 1 for apple, 2 for orange, and 3 for grapefruit. And then the next is UL, unordered list. And the type is this. So this one is apple, orange, grapefruit, and the form of this one is this. And then we have DL. This is definition list. You can see the text is HTML, and then we want to say the definition. The definition of HTML is a markup language designed for the creation of web pages with hypertext. So this one is the text. Okay. So you can see the text is HTML is on the left, but you can see some kind of indentation after the left. So there are some space from the left to define the definition. Yeah, you can change this one, for example, to A. Okay. If you change this one to A, then you can see A, B, C, D, A, B, C, something like this. If you change this to A, then you can see this is using A, B, C with the small letter. Okay. So in the HTML, there's also some special characters. The special characters means something that related to symbol. For example, if you want to create the copyright symbol, C, so you cannot define some text using the common text. You need to use the HTML entity, and this is how you can define it. You need to specify with the symbol N, and then it depends on the text. In this case, the N with copy, it is about copyright. And then you can have the register, the R in the register. It is already pattern. So you can use the N with register. Or this is trademark, TM. So you can use the N with trade. Or you can use some symbol like this one, less than, LT. This less than. This one, greater than. This symbol means ampersand. And then we have NBSP, or it is stand for non-breaking space. Or we have the M dash to represent this dash. It is the M dash. Quote. It is about the quotation mark. If you want to specify with the euro symbol, yeah, you need to use this number. N sharp 83964. If you use the British pound sterling, you can use this one. If you use Japanese yen, you can use this one, and so on. So they specify a lot of HTML entity for every different character. Of course, it is impossible to memorize all those things. So if you need those symbols, I think you can go to the internet and check what the symbols that you need for your web page. Okay. Of course, the Korean also have some HTML entity for the Korean letter. Okay, now let's see. With your understanding, can you read this HTML file? It is complicated. Okay. Now it is the HTML with special character, with the HTML entity. Now let's see if we copy and paste this one into the HTML file, what happens? Okay. It is difficult to understand this code. But when you run this one into the HTML, you will see the symbol clearly in the web page. So this is the bracket information, welcome, and then closing the bracket. And then it is information. I have the following cards. And the first part is just a symbol. Okay. So it means, yeah, we have the card A spade, K diamond, and 9 heart. And then this represents some musical symbol. I prefer hard rock music. And this is a copyright symbol. And this is the trademark. So it becomes more complicated if your website contains a lot of symbols like this one. Okay. Now we will come into some more specific in the HTML. In the HTML, we will use this content in many cases. Okay. So later on, you will not use only the basic HTML, but you will use div. There will be a lot of div later. And maybe some section you will use span. So let's learn about what is div and what is span. We call this is a block elements. And we will also look at the inline elements. So block elements add a line break before and after them. So div is a block element. When you use div, it means before div, yeah, there are some format we do not know. And after div, there will be another format. So it is line break. So other block elements can be table. So we will learn how to create the table. HR, the horizontal rule. There can be also heading, list, P, and etc. So those kind of things, it can be considered as the block element as well. The inline elements do not break the text before and after. So it means inside the text, it can be changed according to the properties. So span is an inline element. And also the HTML elements, for example, A with href is also an inline element. Now let's see how we can understand the div and the span. Div creates logical division within a page. So in one page, you can make multiple div, and this is a block style element, and most probably you will use it with the CSS. CSS is the style. So style means you can define the background color, you can define the text, you can define the font, you can define maybe the format and etc. Now let's see the div and span example, a very simple one. Div span HTML. So in this example, in the div, we have the style. The style that we want to use is the font size is 24 pixel. So the font size here is 24 pixel, and the color will be red. Alignment will be center. So it is in the center of the web. and the word is div example. So this is the text that we want to format using this one. Now we call this is block element, because when you have this block, so everything under this block will appear with the same properties. Now we have another, as we call as span. Do you still remember what is P? P is P paragraph. Okay, so we have a paragraph. Inside the paragraph, we want to specify some text in the particular format. So not all of them will be changed. Just some of them will be changed. For example, in this paragraph, the first word, this one is, will be just the original text, but only a test will follow another format. For example, in this case, only a test, it is in the span, and it follows the style that the color is red and the font width is blue. So this is what we call as the inline element. So inline element, it will be, this is block element, and then this is the inline element. Something that it is in the block element. So the span, it is flexible. You can put in any of the text within P, within the B, within the different kind of text. You can put also in the table and etc. So we say about span, we say about the span, it is the inline style element, and it is useful for modifying a specific portion of text. So let's say I want to change only a particular text like this one. Okay, I can focus only one text. You don't need to change all the text. And we do not create a separate area or paragraph in the document. So we just need to use the block element that we have. And this is a very useful with the CSS. So CSS is the style sheet. It is very useful with the style that we want to specify. Now let's see with this example. So if you see the span.html, this one is only a test. Okay, so you can see that span happens, span, it works on the word only a test, and then the color red and the font width is bold. The other text is this one. This is what this one is another, and then I put the span. In this span, I have another style. The style will be using a font size which is 32 pixel, and then the font width is bold. And the word that belongs to this span is only test. That's why you can see the test is very big, but the other one is using the general font and using the general size. Okay, so that's the very basic definition about div and span. Now let's take a look on other kind of definition, which is about tables. Because in our department, in the industrial and management engineering, we focus on the data analytics. Table is important. So I would like to explain how to define tables, how to create tables, and how to do some things with tables in HTML. So tables represent tabular data. So if you use Excel, okay, so that's one of the tabular data. A table consists of one or several rows, and each row has one or more columns. So when we have the table, so you can have rows, you can have columns. So tables comprise of several core texts. So it means we will need to use table as the beginning of the text, and then slash table for the ending of the table. And then for every table, you will need TR. TR represent the row, and TD to represent the data or the cell of the table. So tables should not be used for layout. Use CSS floats and positioning styles instead. So I will not teach you how to use the CSS for table, because we can use some libraries to make the table more functional and more beautiful. Okay. So I will just teach you the basic one, how to create a table. The first is using the table tag. This is to indicate the start and end of the table. And then we can also indicate the TR to indicate the start and the end of a row. And we can indicate the start and end of a cell in a row using TD. Let's see with this example. Now I don't have the image. If you still remember, if you don't have the image, it will not be shown properly. Okay, let's just make this one. So let me just make the table example.html from this. And then you can see like this. This is a table. Okay, I will explain to you what is cell spacing and what is cell padding. So in this case, the cell spacing is 0 and the cell padding is 5. So we have TR. What is TR? This is to indicate table row. So one row indicates that we have two cells, two TD. So one row, we have two TD. The first TD is about the image, okay, because the image is not available. Let's see like this one. The second TD is the href. This is a link to click on the lecture1.ppt. So unfortunately, we don't have the file ppt, so it will not work. So that's the meaning by the first row. Okay, now we have the second row, tr. The second row, we have also two td. The first DD is the image. We don't have the image. And then the second DD, we are going to connect to the lecture 2. And this is also connected to one PPT. So we don't have the PPT, so let's just make like this one. And the third row, TR, is this one. This is also using an image for the first DD. And the second DD, it is a reference to the lecture notes. And the name is lecture 2 tables. So in this table, we have 3 rows and 2 columns. Maybe it is difficult for you. Is it a table? Yeah, it is not clear. So we can make a new properties. For example, I can call like this border. Border, let's say I put equals to 1. So if I put border equals to 1, then you can see that now it becomes a table. Okay? Because originally a table does not have any border. So you need to specify if you want to see the line. If you want to see the line, then you need to put the word border. So in the basic definition, we have the complete HTML tables. What does it mean, complete? So when you make the HTML, you can specify what is the header of the table, what is the body of the table, what is the footer of the table. So this is the complete HTML table. Okay, so the table rows split into 3 semantic sections: header, body, and footer. So T head, it denotes the table header, and it contains TH elements. It is not TD because TD is only the data, but TH is the header. T body, it is the collection of table rows that contain the very data. Contain, maybe not every. This is not, no, why I missed this one. Contain every data. Sorry. T foot, it means the footer. Table footer, but comes before the T body tag. Okay. So we will see what is inside the table footer. Then we will have the column group and column to define the columns, most often used to set the column widths. So this is the complete HTML tables. But nowadays, people do not use the complete HTML tables. They just select what is the important tag for creating tables. Now let's see with this one. Okay, let me just copy and paste this one into the code. Table example 2, for example. Oops. Sorry. Now you can see the result like this one. Table, and I put the border equals to 1. So you can see, yeah, the border or the line. And then column groups. So the column group means I want to just make the style for all those things with the width equals to 100 pixel, or this is just fully according to the text size. And then we have the header. The header, we call this is header because usually in the table we have the attribute name. In this case, I have one row and then I have two header, th and ts. I have two header. The first is column 1 and the second is column 2. And then I have t footer. T footer. Usually in the table, let's say if you have numbers, maybe in the column 2, it is about the price. Okay. And say if it is about the price, maybe it is 2,000 won, and then this is 5,000 won. And at the end of the table, in the footer, you want to put the totals. So the total is like 7,000. So we can indicate this one as the footer. So we have the definition T foot. In the T foot, we have one row. And in this row, we have TD. The first TD is footer 1 and the second TD is footer 2. After we have T head, after we have T foot, now we can define the T body. So T body is this one. The T body, it consists of two rows. The first row is cell 1.1, cell 1.2. So the first TD is cell 1.1 and the second TD is cell 1.2. And the next row is cell 2.1 and then cell 2.2. Okay. And then we finish the T body and then we close the table. Okay, so that's how we can understand in one table. Okay, so this is the header, this is the footer. The last comes the body or the data. So th means the header. You cannot use td for the header. And then this is to indicate the column. How can you define the column? Okay, so this is the result as you see in the example before. Okay, you can see this one. Although the footer is before the data in the code, it is displayed last. So the first is header and then footer. So when you make a footer, then you need to define the footer before the body. Okay. So if you define the footer after the body, then it will not be shown. So you cannot see the result of the footer. But the result, the footer will be last. So this one is head footer, but footer is at the end of the body. So that's the meaning by this explanation. So by default, header text is bold and center. So you don't need to specify the style. You don't need to specify whether the text should be in the bold and center, but it is automatically center and bold. Okay, let's stop here. Let's have a break. I will continue after the break.